Hi, welcome to this video. My name is Joseph Tochi. I'm a graphic design freelancer and a graphic design coach. So I provide you with graphic design knowledge you need to grow as a graphic designer, things you need to know as a graphic designer, and you can go through my channel and take a look at other contents I've created that might be helpful to you. Okay, so let's go ahead. All I have today is introduction to graphic design. So I'm going to help you understand graphic design. What exactly is graphic design? So a lot of people actually start designing without understanding the skill of graphic design. A lot of people start designing because they just got used to the tool. Maybe they got used to the tool they are using. What I mean by the tool, it can be Photoshop, it can be CorelDRAW, it can be Pixel Lab, it can be Illustrator, whichever one you're using. You got used to it and then you started using it and then you become good in using the app. Now, being good in using the app does not mean you are a graphic designer. It does not mean you are good in your skill. So what qualifies you as a designer is not the tool you use, it's not the tool you're using. So you can actually use any of these two to communicate your message, and these tools are actually used for communicating the message. It actually is where you apply the skill you use to get that. So it is not about the tool, it's about the knowledge. It's about knowing the skill of graphics, knowing what the skill is all about, what the industry is all about, and how to tap into people's emotion using your designs. You get that? So I want to help you understand what graphic design is exactly. You get that? Okay. So, well, first of all, before I go ahead, I'm going to explain both of them separately. I'm going to explain graphic and then I'm going to explain design. I'm going to be very short and fast. Okay. Now, and note, it is not graphics design; it is graphic design. Okay, the graphic design. Look at that. So I believe if you've been a graphic designer, you've been designing or you've been designing for some time, or you've been reading about designing. Okay, about design, you must have seen definitions, a lot of definitions about graphic design. Obviously, you must have read it in a book, you must have seen it in a video like this one, you must have taken a course, you must have just seen it anywhere. Maybe it could be a website, it could be anywhere, it could be an app. Now, those definitions are legit, they are very good, they're very perfect. Now, but then, is that all about graphic design? Those definitions, is that all about graphic design? Now, if you do a search, you might just say a graphic design is a craft where professionals use design principles and elements to communicate a particular message to a social group or something like that. I'm just paraphrasing, you might just see something like that. That's the regular definitions we do see sometimes. Okay, so you can get a lot of definitions in graphic design, but they all talks about the same thing. But then I'm going to break it down for you very well and you to understand what exactly is graphic design. You get now, the word graphic is a Greek word, graphikos. Graphikos means written or drawn. It means written or drawn. Now, graphicals has to do with visual. It has to do with visual elements. Together, now visual is associated with art. Is associated with imagination and expression. So and this involves many mediums such as drawing, painting, engraving, or lettering. It's all about giving details, giving clarity. Now, this part of graphic design. Now, this part which is graphic, remember I'm explaining graphic, will come to design. Okay, this part is made up of visual elements. Now, these visual elements are what we use in creating design. So the graphic creates design. You get that? So graphic design is made up of graphic first is made up of visual elements. These visual elements are used in creating designs. They are the building blocks of design. I call them like that. They are the building blocks of design. They are the ingredients you need to do your design. They are the equipment, whatever, just using synonymous words. So those are what you need to do your design. Now element, when we hear elements, so elements simply talking about those things you see in a design. So when you're looking at a logo, what are you seeing in your logo? When you're looking at a flyer, when you're looking at a business card, when you're looking at a website, when you're looking at an application, an app interface, what are you seeing there? Those things you're seeing there, those are what we call elements of design. So if you look at a design, you can see, if you are looking at this design, this video right now, you can see typography, you can see some writings. So that is typography. That's an element of design I've used to communicate a message to you. And what's that message I've communicated to you? The introduction to the graphic design. So when you saw this video, it communicated a message to you that this is a video that will introduce you to graphic design. This is a video on introduction to graphic design. I've used what? Typography. I've used color. You get? I used color. I've used shape. I'm using exactly what you're looking at now. So these are what I've combined to explain, to communicate a message to you. So graphic design is all about communicating a message. It's a type of communication, and then it is visual communication. So I've used texture. So because the multicolor in that graphic design is texture. You get that? So I've used texture. These are visual elements. And visual elements, I've just been mentioning them now. We have texture, we have typography, we have line, we have shape, and lots of it. Okay, so there you can check online, you can check other videos on that. Okay, I'm going to drop a lot of videos on that, elements of design. You get that? So the graphic part of graphic design is made up of these visual elements. We use them in creating your design, in creating designs. We use them in creating design. So let's move over to the second one. We have design. Now design simply means to decide upon the look and function of something before it's made. To decide upon the look and function of something before it is made. Now design is thinking, design is problem solving, design is practicality. Okay, now this part of graphic design, which is design, is made up of design principles. Now we can say that graphic design is made up of visual elements and visual principles. That's what we combine to create graphic design. Now these visual principles are the rules you follow, the guideline you follow in creating your design. Now it is the right application of these visual principles that qualifies you as a graphic designer. When you know how to apply the visual principles, how to use them properly in a design, that's what qualifies you as a graphic designer, not the kind of tool, not the amount of tools you know how to use. It is good to know your tools, it's good to understand how to use any tool you can learn, but then it is much more important to know the skill itself, to understand these rules, because these rules first are what is going to guide you before designing. You get? So these visual principles will have alignment, will have balance, will have hierarchy, will have contrast. Okay, will have function, and a lot of it will have other principles of design. Now these principles are the rules in design. We use them in communicating a message. Now on how to place these elements, we use the principles of design. It guides you on how to place your element. That's why you don't just place any elements anyhow you want it. So you can see that in this design, I didn't just place design anywhere, place introduction anywhere I like it. Everything is aligned. That is the principle of design I was obeying. Okay, now so I'll tell you, graphic design is not drawing, it is not painting. Okay, graphic design is not painting, it's not creating a poster, it's not creating a flyer, it's not about creating a quick logo in a few minutes or something. So it is these principles that we obey, we follow in creating all those things. So I can say that those things are the means to the end. So they are not first, because a lot of people want to learn graphic design, they want to be graphic designers, but then what is actually attracting them is that maybe they're seeing flyers, they're seeing logos, they're seeing website, they want to do that, they want to come up with their own. So these things you are seeing, where you see us do, you see us teach you see us post, no, those things are the means to the end. That is not the end. Okay, so that they are the means to the end, but that's not the real thing. Okay, so graphic design is not about making things look pretty. So it is about following these principles to communicate a message. Now, I can actually define graphic design like this in my own words. I can define it like this from what I've taught you now. We can now combine both words, which is graphic and design. We can now combine graphic design to be the organization and presentation of information developed through a creative process for a particular function. I will take it again. The organization and presentation of information developed through a creative process for a particular function. So when you design for a particular function. That is, the function is the information or the message you are passing across. Okay, so in graphic design, we must first understand the information. Okay, so when you want to design, first of all, understand the information, a message or a brief. A brief is the information, the information you need to create your design, the guideline, the information actually you need to create a design. What is the brief of your logo? What is the concept? What the flyer you want to make, the poster you want to make? What is the brief? What is it about? So that is the message. So we must first of all understand the information and then research on the info, of course. We will now do research, and then we'll think, and then we'll imagine, and then we'll develop or create a solution to solve that problem, to solve the client's problem. So that's what graphic designers do, and this is a tip I'm giving you. Okay, now it's only when we have a solid idea, because it's only when you have a solid idea developed through the process of through the design process rather, that's when we can use our skill, or just like layouts, color, typography, and creative tools to develop or to create to bring the idea to life. So if you don't understand the information, you cannot create anything. First of all, you must understand the information before you can create any effective design. So just like I said earlier, this video is just an introduction to graphic design to help you understand graphic design, what it means. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to be showing you the opportunities in graphic design, the areas of specialization in graphic design. I'm going to be answering a question of, should I do all design, or should I just do a particular design, like just do a logo, or just do a flyer, or just do a publication design. So I'm going to be telling you all the branches of design. Okay, so goodbye for today.